Hello, everyone. Welcome into another edition of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Tony Sapita, and again, I am joined by my co-host, Nick Barr. How you doing today, Nick?
I am doing good, Tony. I got a little here. I'm going to do another cornball moment for the folks at home. You remember when I did it the first time, the happy camper shirt during camp, and now to end training camp, he's wearing a training day shirt. One of my favorite. Could you see it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Don't look too hard though, because it is a terrible bootleg. It's horribly fake. I thought it was going to be like a nice vintage, like cool shirt. It's not. But luckily I found a reason to wear it. I think this is the first time I've worn it, but yes, I am doing good, Tony. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. So as Nick said, so today we're going to be hitting on the Bulls and our thoughts kind of heading into tomorrow's final preseason game, the end of training camp, just, the real thing, ramping up for it next week. But first we got to do this final preseason game against the Grizzlies, then the injury status of Coby White, Patrick Williams, and Tony Bradley, and even a little Derrick Rose and his engagement to his longtime girlfriend talk. But first, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Stupid Car Tray.
Sure would. And if you folks would like to enjoy Bulls games at home or on the road even more, head to stupidcartray.com. Use code J16. That's JAY16. That'll get you 16% at the checkout. Link will be in the description. Tony, let's talk some Bulls, baby.
Let's do it. The Bulls. So first topic of the day is the Bulls actually made some last minute moves right before the season starts. One of those was signing Bryce Alford. Nick, do you want to kind of fill us in on that?
Yeah, so kind of an odd signing. And I mean, I guess in terms of timing, obviously, like you had mentioned, we're going into the last preseason game tomorrow. So that means, training camp also ends to, when the preseason ends. So last training camp signing, and very last minute. So I'm assuming they're going to want to get him in the game, maybe see if he will take that last roster spot from maybe Matt Thomas. Matt Thomas hasn't really been producing the way we kind of hoped he was, tapered off the end of the last year. And then he hasn't really found his spark. He had a great game in the first game, and we've kind of hammered that home. But the past two, he hasn't really found his rhythm. So I wonder if that has something to do with it. I would imagine it does. Alford had a couple good years, G League, Summer League, didn't really make a roster. So that's when he went overseas. And has been overseas since 2019, I believe. So his first time back in the old US of A for a little while. So let's see. I mean, I'm curious to see how he does. Obviously, the media is going to be talking about the fact that he played with Lonzo way back when he was a senior, I think, and Lonzo must have been a freshman. So not even really played together, but I guess they did. There's some pictures of them together. But yeah, kind of a weird signing. Again, we're just kind of hoping to see the final roster soon.
Yeah, I don't know much about him, so I'm happy you kind of filled us in on him. You're totally right, by the way, that they're definitely going to be like, oh, UCLA, like the Jordan and Pippen from UCLA.
Yeah.
Matt, Bryce Alford and Lonzo Ball. So we'll see how that all plays out.
They're just like us, man, just looking for some storylines, right?
Hey, absolutely. And I respect it. It's just, it's funny when you just know it's going to happen when you can see it coming. So we'll make sure to make fun of that on the next episode when we see it. So let's get into topic 2. Patrick Williams. He is almost so back. Almost so back is the proper enunciation on that, folks. We have Patrick Williams practicing in full for the second day in a row. That's 2 days in a row. That makes a habit, almost, at least a trend. So, Nick, what do you think, like, his chances are of playing soon? When will it be? What do you think in general?
Yeah, so I mean, 2 days in a row now, like you said, he's almost developing this habit of playing basketball, and you would think that he may get out and see the real deal. No, but really, Billy has been speaking pretty highly of him, as he always has, in terms of his comeback. And it looks like the vibes you could say that Billy has given off is that he will be playing tomorrow. I'd be surprised if he starts, but of course Billy's going to keep us on our toes till, right before tip for the lineup. But I think he will play. I think also Tony Bradley will play. We kind of forgot about Tony. We haven't talked about him for a while, but hopefully he'll add some length. Obviously that's kind of his role on the team where we were hoping he would fill when we signed him, was that, he'll add some rim protection. We got Lonzo Ball giving out a few blocks, but I don't think that's going to happen the entire year, at least around the rim. So we're going to need some more length there. So I'm hoping to see Tony Bradley back tomorrow. Looks like he practiced in full as well. So it looks like we got two guys to look out for here, and they will clearly have pretty big roles on the Bulls. So hoping to see them back.
Yeah. And real quick, just want to fact check myself. It does not take 2 days to form a habit. It couldn't be farther. It's like between 18 and 254, which that's fake. That's just like a completely made up range. Average is 66 days, which I thought it was 22. So my apologies to everyone out there. Thank you, Nick, for giving everyone real information as opposed to me. So speaking of real information, how about we talk a little Coby White? I know his outlook is not as optimistic as some of these other guys. So Nick, what are you hearing on that with your ear to the ground?
Yeah, well, it feels like I feel like everything has just been positive after positive after positive, no matter what it is, all the way down to Patrick Williams' sprained ankle. We're like, he's healing better than anyone's ever healed before. It's like he just stepped on someone's foot. So unfortunately, a little bit of bad news for the Bulls, which I know this can happen. Coby his timetable is, I think, been extended a little bit. I think originally we may have talked about it a couple episodes back, but his timetable was going to be beginning of November, which would only put him a couple weeks into the regular season to getting in the game. But now it looks like Billy said he's not going to give a judgment, or I don't even think he's going to play full contact for another month. So, I mean, I would imagine once he gets full contact, then it's going to be a couple weeks after that. So at this point, I mean, I don't want to make any assumptions, but I don't think we're going to see Coby till mid-November, maybe early December. So it seemed, Billy mentioned it a couple of times. He said that we'll have a better feel in maybe another month. He's only cleared for dribbling, passing, and shooting right now. He needs to get the strength back in the range of motion. So when you have surgery, obviously he's got to build that strength back. But to me, I'm just like thinking back to my scrub high school basketball days and like, the few rare like injuries that I had. I just didn't play enough to get injured a whole bunch. But he had mentioned, getting this like strength back in the range of motion. I love being in that period of injury because no one wants to be hurt. I would never wish pain on anyone, but you got to admit the point in your injury where you're not really in pain, but you can't go full contact, kind of the sweetest spot ever, especially if you make money at this, where you're able to do the shooting drills. That's the funnest part anyway, but you don't have to go on, coach is blowing out the whistle and you're stopping your 5-on-5 getting yelled at. So from a player standpoint, Coby might be in the best position he could be in, but from a real Bulls fan standpoint, not the best news, but obviously we have a roster, built around, filling in for Coby White. So
yeah, and he's probably not a guy too that they're necessarily really rushing to get back, or they don't have to, at least. Not that they don't want him or anything like that, but it's not Patrick Williams where it's like, all right, this guy's our number 4. He is the number 4. He's our number 1, probably like prospect, obviously behind Levine and everything. But he's a guy where it's like, all right, we got a lot of guys at that guard position, just at the guard position in general.
Right.
Just get healthy. We don't need, you coming back for a little, then maybe we have some other injuries pile up and then you're also hurt again. Yeah. So I'm not too worried. It does kind of suck because he's fun. Like he's just a fun guy to watch out there, especially when he's splashing threes, but and running the court, especially with this team. This team's gonna be so fast. Just doing alley-oops like it's their job, like they get paid to do. It'll be crazy. But yeah, so I guess we'll get into our last topic here. Oh, actually, before we get into that,
I was just gonna say, last game, obviously tomorrow. I don't think Ja Morant played Memphis's most recent game, but he will be playing tomorrow versus the Bulls, so that could be a little interesting. A little Lonzo versus Ja, kind of similar playing style. I mean, Ja's more of a slasher, I suppose, but that will be fun. Obviously, Tony Bradley, hopefully he comes back. Patrick Williams, hopefully he comes back. Coby, keep getting better. but let's finish out the preseason strong. But before we do, we got to end on kind of a sad note. Tony, you want to introduce the next topic here?
Yeah, so sad, not in the sense nobody died, thank goodness, or anything, but it feels like a little piece, piece of our soul, I guess you could say, something just deep, in our heart. Derrick Rose got engaged on the court. I won't say which court yet. He got engaged to his longtime girlfriend. It was a big thing, obviously. Special place in our heart. But
good for him.
It was
okay, let's clap it up. Let's clap it up first for the engagement.
Yeah.
Before you say where it was, let's clap. Okay.
Congratulations.
Love forever.
However, we have officially lost him. It was at Madison Square Garden in New York. Pour one out for the homie. He's officially a Knick or something. He's officially not a Chicago Bull anymore. I know he technically hasn't been employed by the team for years, but I mean, you'd think he'd at least come back to the United Center. I know there's a lot of hard feelings, with everything that happened with him and his cousin and, being and his agent and all that jazz, but can't say it doesn't hurt a little. Nick, what you got on this?
It's weird that something, and I was telling Tony, this was like one of the higher trending topics about the Bulls, which I guess you could look at as a good thing. And maybe we don't have a lot going on, which means not a lot of bad things and not a lot of good, which, gotta love being in the middle, right? It's good to fly in the middle. But I felt that pain though. I thought it was the second most trending for a reason. I think that was like closing the door. How they always say you need that closure in the relationship. Well, that's what that was. Because now we always thought, no matter what team he would play for, if you told me Derrick Rose is going to get married on one of the courts, it's still going to be the United Center. And today is finally the day where that's not the case. Now, I don't want to end negative. I also want to still show my love for Derrick. And I will say this might be one of the better moves from like a boyfriend standpoint. So basically the girlfriend, right, she gets an all-time proposal that, there's a table, the ring, champagne, whatever is on the center court of Madison Square Garden, one of the bigger venues in the world, right? Love that. So she's going to never forget that. She could get married 5 times, never forget that. But he didn't even have to go out and buy some helicopter, spend all this money, get all these like pigeons or doves or, whatever it is. And of course, I don't think he's necessarily hurting on the pocketbook, but he just all-time guy win right there to just be like, I'm just going to ask my bosses if I can get the keys to the office. Cause that's all it is. It's just his office. And he just went in and did the proposal. She thought it was probably the coolest thing in the world. Cause it is. But to him, he's literally just asking for his badge to go back to the office and propose to his girlfriend. So what an all-time move. But we do miss you, Derrick.
That is such a great point, and it is such a guy move. You're like, I nailed that, and he did. He sounds like
he nailed it. Did. But he had to do nothing. He probably texted him the day before, just like, "Hey, can I get the keys? Like, they gotta do this thing, the wedding thing.
You gotta take care of a little something." Yeah, no, that's so funny. You do it's like the most romantic thing you could think of, but it's also the whole idea behind it was like, what is the least work I could put into it, the least amount of money. Yeah, at my place of employment. Hey, can I use my cubicle real quick to propose to my girlfriend? So
incredible. He really is the GOAT.
He
really is the GOAT.
Yep. And who knows? Maybe Lonzo Ball. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even gonna say that. Doesn't matter with this episode. That'll do it for this episode. Another year Chicago. My name is Tony Sapita. Thank you again to my co-host Nick Barr. Thanks for tuning in.